Hey guys, what's up? It's Nick here from JuxsterGaming. I'm going to do a quick little bracket on who I think will be going far in the ESPN Tournament Challenge. So, first we'll start out with the Louisville, North Carolina AT&T game. Shouldn't be any surprise in this game, of course, Louisville. This should be a little bit closer, but I have a feeling that Colorado State will go on and upset Oregon. Oregon was the Pac-12 champions, but somehow they got seeded 12th instead of UCLA, who got seeded like 6th, although they weren't first, which is kind of weird. And then St. Louis, I think St. Louis beat like Butler by like 3 times, right there. So, and they're projected 83% to win. So I got a pretty good chance that will be right. You got Memphis, easy, Michigan State. This one's a toughie. I'm honestly going to go with Cincinnati on this, and of course Duke. So we're going to do the Midwest part of the tournament first, and then go on to the South, then to the West, then to the East. Then we're going to do the national champion part. So of course Louisville over Colorado State. It's not much of a tough choice. As you can see, the versus top 25 is much different. Louisville's got an okay schedule against the top 25, and then Colorado State's is just really bad. Then we got St. Louis definitely over Oregon, then Michigan State over Memphis, and Duke over Cincinnati. No surprise, I think Louisville will be going on to the Elite 8 right here. I believe that's the Elite 8. And then I think Michigan State will beat Duke. Michigan State is really solid. They've been playing a lot better later in the year than they were at the beginning. So I think they're going to go on. But Louisville will beat them. So now on to the South. We got Kansas over Western Kentucky. Oops. Okay. And then we've got North Carolina over Nevada. Virginia Commonwealth over Akron. I don't even know how Akron got into the tournament. One sec. They had a pretty good record. I've never even heard of Akron basketball. Lost to Middle Tennessee, who didn't even get into the tournament, which is not good. Michigan over South Dakota State, and Minnesota with an upset over UCLA. If you look at it, Minnesota's actually predicted to win with 55% to 45% for UCLA. So, I'm going with Minnesota. Plus, I'm from Minnesota, so, it's kind of biased. Minnesota beat Indiana, so you never know. Actually, I think they beat Indiana by like 8. And then we got Florida over Northwestern State, although Northwestern State is actually the highest scoring team in college basketball with 80 points a game. And I think San Diego State is going to beat Oklahoma. Although I don't know how San Diego State has a higher seed than Minnesota, but whatever. And then we got Georgetown, of course, over Florida Gulf Coast. And we got Georgetown over San Diego State. And I know that Florida's a better team, but they, of course, as you can see, they lost to Wisconsin by 18, and I think we beat Wisconsin once. Beat Wisconsin by like 12 in one of our games. So I'm actually going to go with Minnesota against my better judgment. Minnesota going on to the Sweet 16 as an 11 seed. We got VCU over Michigan, because VCU, I don't know why, they always just seem to get into the Sweet 16 no matter what. And Kansas over North Carolina, although that should be a pretty good game actually for a 1-8 seed. They've got Kansas over VCU, of course. And yeah, I think I gotta go with Georgetown. Georgetown over Minnesota, and then Kansas going on to the Elite Four. What? No, the Final Four. So we've got Louisville and Kansas so far, both #1 seeds, which is not making me happy, but I think I have a different seed actually than number 1, who I have a feeling is going to win the West bracket, which we're doing next. So we've got Gonzaga over Southern University, should be very close. Pittsburgh over Wichita State, and Wisconsin over Ole Miss. I don't know how Ole Miss beat Florida, but they did, so that's partially why I'm going with Minnesota over Florida. There's a slight chance. Who picked whom gave Minnesota a 10% chance of getting to the Sweet 16, and I'm going with the minority. We've got Kansas State over, I think that game's going on today, but I'm feeling it's going to be Boise State. Then we got Arizona over Belmont, and New Mexico over Harvard. Now this one, I have a feeling that Iowa State is actually going to beat Notre Dame and an upset, and Ohio State, of course, over Iona. Iona actually averages like 80 points per game, but they're definitely not going to get that many points against a great defense like Ohio State. Now we've got Ohio State going over Iowa and Arizona over New Mexico, because New Mexico in the Mountain West doesn't really play anyone, so can't really put them over the good teams. Gonzaga over Pittsburgh, of course, and Wisconsin over Kansas State. Wisconsin over Gonzaga. Gonzaga does not play the type of teams that Wisconsin plays, and it's not going to be very close, in my opinion. They lost to Illinois by 11, and Illinois is pretty much one of the worst teams in the Big Ten. No offense to you Iowa fans, or Illinois fans. Iowa didn't even make it into the tournament. Speaking of which, Kentucky lost to Oral Roberts. How can you even do that? Oh my God, that's just sad. Then we got Indiana over LIU Brooklyn. Oh, this is the East, by the way. I think LIU won that game. Or did we do... don't remember. I think it's LIU Brooklyn. I'm not sure if that was the first game that was played. Yeah, I think it... No, it hasn't been played yet today. Which game was played yesterday? Okay, I don't know. It was Middle Tennessee State lost to somebody. I think it was St. Mary's? Pretty sure. But Memphis will beat them. Now we got North Carolina State over Temple. North Carolina State was actually predicted to win the ACC for some reason, but they didn't, so I think they have a good chance of getting through. And we got the Qs over Montana, Butler over Bucknell. Actually, I'm going to go with Bucknell over Butler. Butler seems to be always the miracle team, but Bucknell is going to beat them this time. I think they're actually predicted to win, yeah. Predicted to win right there, 53%. And then we have Marquette over Davidson. Davidson, I think, made it to the Elite Eight in like 2007 or something with Stephen Curry, but they don't have any players good as Stephen Curry this year. And they're 0-3 versus the top 25, so yikes. We got Illinois over Colorado and Miami, Florida over Pacific. Miami, Florida. This is close. I'm going to go with Bucknell. Joining Minnesota as the only two double teams, the two seeded teams, two-digit seeds, 11 and 11, who make it to the Sweet 16. And we got the Qs over UNLV and Indiana, of course, over NC State. Indiana to the Sweet 16. That's the Elite Eight, sorry. And then Miami, Florida over Bucknell. Miami, Florida over Indiana. And then, then we got a 1 seed, a 2 seed, and a 1 seed and a 2 seed. So for the first game, I'm going to have Kansas winning over Miami, Florida. Kansas is just too good. And then putting Louisville over Ohio State. I actually had Ohio State winning in my first bracket, which is up here, right there. but I don't think they're going to win this time. I think Kansas will go and get them. Go and get Louisville. Beat Louisville. Louisville, they're the #1 overall seed, but they were 4th in the country when they got seeded, so I don't know what's up with that. Then we're going to have it be 71 to 63. 630. The losing score will have 630 points. Okay, tiebreaker. Yeah, that looks pretty good. There we go, submit. Anyway, guys, that's it for today, and I'll see you guys next time.